Hey guys, we got part 3 of my little series here outside the box on developing your mental map of the guitar using just starting off with a minor pentatonic scale, same one everybody knows and uses all the time. It's a great scale. A lot of fantastic music has been made using it, but a lot of people feel a little sort of caged in by it. Caged. Look that up too if you are looking to sort of expand your horizons a little bit. C-A-G-E-D. That's a whole different topic. And maybe we'll cover that in later lessons. A lot of people have done some great work there, so might not need to tread trodden ground. What we're going to look at today is the same thing we looked at last week. If you remember, we had the E minor scale. And so we started with the minor pentatonic scale. We added the F sharps. That even kind of sounds cool. And then we went and added the C notes. So that would have been the F sharps were the ninths, or the seconds, and the C's are flat sixths, if we're looking at E as being our key. If in case I just didn't really cover that very well in the last one, I'll give you kind of an up close of that E minor scale. Now, we're going to make use of a couple of devices to sort of move some of these notes around and organize them in a way so that we have 3 notes on each string. Right now, we have 2 notes on the 4th string, and if you're familiar with a certain kind of picking, dealing with odds and evens is not really a big deal. But at certain speeds and whatnot, it can really pose to be kind of a pain in the butt to have this inconsistency. It doesn't mean that this is a bad way to play it or a bad organization of these notes. It can be better for visualizing the chords and whatnot. Then again, maybe not. It's just kind of different strokes for different folks. Personally, the 3 note per string thing works for me. One, I find it to be very musical. I'm able to do some kind of cool stuff. With it, I don't know. Maybe just because I've been playing that way for 22 years at this point. It's just kind of the way I do things. And I already mentioned the consistency. We're going to have 3 notes on each string. Bada, 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 bada. We get used to playing on 1 or 2, then you can just kind of repeat that across all 6 strings, picking hand-wise, and get where you need to be. And I find this way of playing scales to be actually easier than the way a lot of people do it. And again, it's that consistency. These things kind of overlap. And they're also easy to memorize. And later on, we'll talk about ways that you can make these scale shapes up on the spot and improvise them wherever you are on the guitar, anywhere on the fretboard, on any string. So I think once you can do that, the whole instrument just opens up to you. It's crazy. That was a huge realization for me. Okay, so we're going to use 2 little tactics to kind of shuffle some of these notes around. And the first one is, like when you tune, and watch, I'm going to be out of tune. Yeah, it's pretty good. We come up to the 5th fret, and we play the 6th string, and then we play the open 5th string to tune to it, because those notes that are 5 frets apart and 1 string apart are the same note. Jeez. I'm playing 2 notes at the same time. So instead of having these 15th fret notes on the 5th and 6th strings, we're going to move those to the 4th and 5th strings at the 10th fret. I think we can agree those are the same notes. We come back 5 frets, we come down towards the floor 1 string, we get the same thing. This doesn't work between the 3rd and 2nd strings, because like when you're tuning, you go to the 4th fret, right? We only need to go back 4 frets to get the same note between the 3rd and 2nd strings. And if I learn how to count, that's going to go a lot better. The other thing are these octave shapes. We already mentioned this one, I think it was in part 1. And if we move to the 2nd and 4th strings, if we move to the 3rd and 5th strings, now we just have 2 frets. And then the 4th and 6th. So using these 2 tactics, we can come up with a shape that if you're looking at the notes, which you can find in the description, we get a scale that looks like this. All right, so I'm moving to this like nerdy guy classical position because I've sort of developed kind of a goofy thing in my shoulder after holding my arm out here and playing guitar for 20-something years. So anyway, here's what the scale looks like now that we are kind of shuffling some things around. No change so far. Still no change. But again, I'm taking that C note that we added, and I'm just moving it somewhere else. We've been playing those since the beginning. And I'm taking this G, and I'm moving it to the 5th string at the 10th fret. And then we have our 9th, or our 2nd that we added. And using the magic of octaves, we are actually going down 1 scale tone beneath what we were calling the root note before. So once again, all uninterrupted, here's what it sounds like and looks like. So I mentioned last time, or maybe it was this time, I don't know, but I mentioned we could play some patterns and things, and there were some kind of licks that playing the guitar this way opened up to us. And so let's say, for instance, maybe I want these 3 notes ascending on the 6th string, and then I can play them on the 5th string. So if I kind of put all that together, maybe just end on some, epic sounding note. Now this, in retrospect, I think the delay might be a little bit much. But the amp's got no reverb. It sounds a little dry, kind of by itself. Here, I'll turn the mix down a little bit. So let's do that one more time. Here is our, what you could still call it an E minor scale. But maybe we would call it something else because it's starting on D now. And maybe if we play that over a D chord. It doesn't really sound like E minor when you play a D chord over it. And the same thing goes, let's say if I played a G. So this scale really, in any scale, takes on sort of a different form depending on what chord you're playing underneath it. So if I call it G major, it's true. It's a G major chord or a scale. If I call it an E minor scale, it is an E minor scale also. You're just taking the G and you're starting on the 6th note. That's how we get a minor scale out of a major scale. So we have G, A, B, C, D, E. There's your E minor, right? And then F sharp again. And then it all goes back to G. So again, just this is miscellaneous music theory. We don't really need to focus on this right now. So what I would like for you to do this week is to take this 3-note per string scale fingering and just get it wired. Just get it absolutely nailed. However you want to handle the picking. If you want to alternate pick the whole thing, you'll notice my hand kind of leans a little bit every once in a while. That's one way you can do it, or you can economy pick it, which is generally the way I approach the instrument. And that's just so you have a down, up, down, and then that last downstroke, you're playing the 6th string, and you're just burying it into the 5th string, like so. So then it's primed and ready to go for another downstroke. And then going down, I kind of lean up a little bit with the pick. It's kind of slanted towards you. On the way down, it's kind of slanted down. And we'll talk about that too, all in due time. But look for chord shapes in this this set of 3-note per string scale tones. Look for melodies you already know. Maybe see if you can play, I don't know, Yesterday, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. You know, see what you can find kind of buried in there. I'm just kind of going through my notes to make sure I cover everything in here so nobody gripes at me. So what do we have here? This is a 3-note per string scale starting on the 10th fret of the 6th string. We're some kind of D something or other scale if you want to. Still, it's an E minor scale. It still works over everything your E minor pentatonic scale worked over, as long as you're not playing like a blues with a dominant chord or a 7th chord, which has a G sharp instead of G. It's got a major 3rd there. Bet the C minor scale is not going to work really well in that situation. But let's see. What else? The minor pentatonic scale is still in there. So yeah, whatever. Getting kind of sloppy. But you get the idea. Don't abandon that box shape. Don't throw that out. That's still hugely important. This is, what we just learned, is the 5th in a sequence of 7 repeating shapes. Here was our 5th one we just learned. The 6th, which we kind of, the 4th one and the 6th one, we kind of know. I don't know, like 2/3 of those already. The 7th, and then back to the 1st again. A little sloppy, but you get the idea. We'll cover all that later on, and I'll explain that all in great detail. But I just figured I'd kind of walk you through them and show them to you right now. Again, as usual, if you guys have any questions, please message me on Facebook or on YouTube if there's a messaging system. I don't have any idea. I guess they use G+ now. Let me know either way. I'm going to have links to the presentations. Probably I'll just put the whole presentation in all 3 parts of this video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next week. Thanks.